All right, what is up, takers? Welcome back to Side State Today Live. You guys already know how we do. We do this each and every Thursday and Sunday, 6 p.m. Eastern, where we dive into some of the hottest interviews, trending topics, and really get to introduce creatives and different talented individuals here on our platform. And before we begin, of course, we're going to go ahead and give you where to find us on social media. So we're currently live streaming on Facebook, YouTube, Twitch. So be sure to go ahead and like us on Facebook at It's Side State Today. Go ahead and also follow us on Instagram at, of course, It's Side State Today. And if you aren't watching on YouTube or if you haven't subscribed to us on YouTube, be sure to do so for behind the scenes interviews, event coverage, and all behind the scenes of Side State Today. We just recently reached 300 subscribers on YouTube. So our next goal is 500 and then, of course, 1,000. And we're just going to continue to grow and continue to increase our audience. Coming up on today's show, we are talking to two very different but creative individuals. First up, we will be talking to Jae'Shaun Kwamé, who is a dancer, photographer, videographer, an overall creative. And then later on in the show, we also are talking because, yes, it is, of course, tax season. So I don't know about you guys, but I'm always really last minute when it comes to filing my taxes. I started it already, and then I was like, maybe I need an expert. So our second guest on today's show is going to be Darryl Howard, who is a real estate, mortgage, and financial literacy expert. So be sure to stay tuned for that. And as always, just a reminder, you guys can share your thoughts and comments. Let us know where you're watching from. Let us know your thoughts. I know we already have some people checking in. So we have Tyshell Radcliffe. Hey, Ty, it's the greatest name of all time. Y'all already know. I'm already a fan. You're already a fan. Hey, powerful names. Let's talk about it. Ty also saying, can't wait to see my friend TRILL visuals. Jae'Shaun Kwamé. So just everybody in the YouTube are commenting already. So be sure to show us some love and let us know. And we'll be sure to shout you out. But up first, I'm going to add our first guest to the show, Jae'Shaun Kwamé. How are you?
Doing great, and you?
Doing well. Absolutely. Thank you so much for joining us today. You have a huge fan base already. They've been in the comments since earlier this morning. So shout outs to your fan base. And I don't really like wasting anybody's time. I know all of us are extremely busy. So I really just want to introduce you as the creative person and talent that you are to our audience and really have this conversation introduce our audience to who you are.
Okay, my name is Jae'Shaun Kwamé, aka TRILL. I'm a dancer, photographer, videographer, all around creative. Because I do so many other things other than that. But yeah.
Absolutely, just an endless list of roles and jobs and titles. It's hard to fit it all into one conversation, let alone one little byline or tagline. What really, you express yourself, like I said, through dance, photography, videography. What deeper purpose connects you to all of these art forms?
What I would say what connects me is music has always been like a part of like my life. And I feel like it's a way to express myself. I have a lot of ways to express myself in art. If I'm feeling stressed, depressed, happy, angry, I'm going to create and release. So that's kind of like where, you know.
Absolutely. So up until this point of your career and your life, what moments, previously or, growing up have influenced or shaped the way you create and choose to tell stories?
I would say like artists like Janet Jackson, Tiana Taylor, Sierra, to the directors, to choreographers, some choreographers here in Detroit, like Gordy, Nikki. Just a lot of people have inspired me and motivated me to create the way I do. And I find creative individuals all the time that inspire me as well. So,
Absolutely. And being, originally from Detroit, correct?
mm,
No?
no. I was born in Grand Rapids. I was raised up north, like Saginaw, Michigan area.
Okay.
Um, yeah. So,
So then being from Michigan, what sets you apart from some of the previous talents or just overall, people that do similar things to you here in Michigan?
um, because I'm just authentically me in a sense. I don't. My style isn't for everyone. My style is it comes from it's me. Like that's what separates me from a lot of people. My art. I don't follow rules. I break the rules when it comes to certain things, and how I create. It's just different. So.
Absolutely. And for you, how are you able to balance vulnerability and strength in your art, especially when it comes to expressing like, deeper emotions like we previously mentioned?
Well, as of recently, like I've been getting back into dance. It's been maybe like 10 years since I haven't really danced like full on because I was really focused on my other skills and things of that nature. But the way I look at music, the way as music has helped me, it shaped me. Um, Dance, I can express how I feel through dance, regardless if I'm feeling angry, sad. It's just yeah, music has helped me a lot. So that's why I just dance and yeah. So.
Absolutely. What has been some of the most biggest challenges or obstacles you've experienced thus far in your career, and how did you overcome those obstacles or challenges?
I would say coming into a new space like Detroit, for instance. How can I say this? Navigating through different spaces since I do so many things. Um, and just trying to find a community that fits me, and it took a while. A lot of people didn't know who I was, so it's a lot of networking and building relationships, working with people. So it's been a journey, but I've been loving it since I've been here in Detroit. So
Absolutely. And then speaking of when, say people out there that may be watching or may not be familiar with your work, when people see your work, what type of, emotions or what type of vibe do you hope that, our audience may take away if they research you further and check out some of your works?
excitement, something that they want to as well. Like I story tell, I like to capture and freeze time, make pictures last a lifetime, like so just more as if like I want that, I want him to do that. Definitely when they see my personality, so just a lot of things I want them to take over my skill, my work ethic, my personality, everything.
Absolutely. And we talk a lot about mental health. It's one of the most main topics that we discuss here with all of our guests for the most part on the show. So for you, how do you handle like your overall mental health as a creative, and then, the self-doubt or creative blocks that you may experience, from time to time with various projects?
I would say with things that I create, the things that I put into the world, those are the things that help me while I'm going through my mental health things and mental health journey and healing. Those things help me. Like I have to create. I have to put something out in the world. I have to. Like it's just it helps me. Like, and yeah, what was the other question?
Just overall, focusing on your mental health, because I know like within our creative industry, just being a creative, like from time to time things get overwhelming and hectic, and a lot of people may not know how to juggle all of these different projects that they may be working on.
Journaling, most definitely as well. Meditating, journaling, praying a lot of prayer. Making sure you have the right support system in place, regardless of what that is, emotionally, physically, financially, whatever. Make sure you have your go-to people. Build a community within the things that you love to do, your belief system, and that's what got me through all the trials and tribulations that I've been through.
Absolutely. And when it comes to working or collaborating with other creative talents, what is your approach for that? And are you open to like working with other artists or other creatives?
Yes, I'm very open to collaborating. Um, Definitely, like when I first started my career, I just always wanted to collab, collab, collab. And I really didn't understand the business aspect of it. But now that I've been, 6, 7 years in it, and I'm very open, regardless if it's dancers, models, photographers, videographers, writers, any type of creative, I'm always open, so.
Absolutely. And has there been any like particular project and one project in particular that has really like stuck with you, or like that impacted you on like an extremely deep level?
Yes, when I lived in Austin, Texas, I was working with a group of girls, Portia, Mimi. They're great dancers, choreographers, and when I was filming their dance classes, it was very magical. It was very inspiring. Like it was like, wow, like just working with those individuals, putting, them trusting me, putting the art into videography, dance, they trusted me and the vision came to life. And that was where the moments really like stuck and made a big impact.
Absolutely. And speaking of risks or chances you may have taken in your career thus far, what has been a like one risk that you've taken during your journey, and that it ultimately paid off in the end, or that you may have been hesitant about at first?
I'll say the biggest risk is, maybe I'm going to answer this right. I feel like it's just betting on yourself. You have to bet on yourself and count on yourself. Like, regardless if it's financial decisions, buying a new gear, buying new equipment, putting yourself out there. Those are risks. Trips, business trips, networking, getting in the field by yourself, the networking, being in different spaces. Those are risks that I took, throughout all these years, so I'm grateful for it.
Absolutely. And if I did my research correct, you're very spiritual and believe in your belief is very strong, and that presence is evident, just being somebody who has followed your journey and is following you on social media. How does that, along with your cultural background and community, influence you as an artist?
Spiritually, sometimes I feel like it's hard to explain to some people that aren't spiritual, but it has helped me in so many other ways besides my mental health journey, healing journey, connecting, to my ancestors. Manifestation is really big. We're careful about what you speak and put into the universe. Yeah. So.
Absolutely. And I have some more questions for you, of course, Jae'Shaun, but I do want to shout out to everybody that's currently watching live, whether it's on Facebook, YouTube, or Twitch as well. So if you haven't already, or if you're interested, of course, you guys can share your take and perspective in the comments, and we'll be sure to share them during our conversations tonight. And like I said, Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, streaming live on everything. But I do want to get to some comments here. Where do I even start? I'm going to just start from the very beginning. Bree Perry, just so I don't make sure I don't miss anybody. Jae'Shaun in the building. Bree also asks, I would love to know, what is one of Jae'Shaun's greatest accomplishments while having so many different talents? Michigan stands up.
Oh, one of the greatest accomplishments was really like starting my business, my brand, like in 2017, 18, and really taking my skills in to another level. Like, that was a big accomplishment. Like, I can make money doing the things I love, so it's not work. Like, that was one of the greatest accomplishments, really.
Absolutely. And not only being a creative and being a dancer, you mentioned earlier, you do have your own business. Can you tell us a little bit about your business? And then I also believe we have a screen grab as well that we're going to pull up on the screen as we're talking.
So my business is called TRILL Visuals. TRILL, TRILLVISUALZ. And basically, there's my website. I do event photography, variety of events like baby showers, galas, you name it. I do weddings, I shoot graduation photos, I do performance photography. That's where you like, getting the action shots and portraits. So I do a lot when it comes to video photography. Of course, the editing too as well.
Absolutely. And for those that may be interested in booking you for photo shoots or, like you said, parties, events, just for the if they may have missed it, let them know where they can connect with you to make sure that they can get those photography and videography services.
Yes, you can follow me on all platforms. My business, TRILL Visuals, that's on Facebook, TikTok, Instagram, Threads. I have a website. It's trillvisuals.mypixieset.com. And that's where you can find me, all platforms, Facebook or here.
Absolutely. And of course, we'll be sure to also include all of your links and contacts as well. A couple more questions for you. What is your personal take on the representation of Black artists when it comes to the creative industry as a whole?
I feel like it's very important. Definitely being an artist, a black artist, a lot of things that we have put out into this world that we haven't took that we don't get credit for. So it's very important to, when you are an artist, believe in your craft, believe in yourself, and make a change. You are making a change when you are putting yourself and your art out there. You are inspiring others just as well as people are inspiring you. So, and yeah.
Absolutely. Dropping gems, speaking words of wisdom on the platform as always. Back to the comments as we're live streaming. Bardo H says, and you better dance that behind off. Yes, Trill.
Thank you, Bardo.
Bree also chiming in again with another question. Where did the name Trill come from and what does it mean?
Oh, good question. TRILL is actually an acronym. Um, it's actually an acronym. I came up with that maybe 2015. I'm still in the sense of wondering, do I let the world know that just yet? Because I have so many other things that I want to, some little kinks and things, but there are acronyms. It's not just the name. It's not the typical trill, that is the rah rah. It's very more spiritual. Authenticity. That's really what it represents.
Okay. And then Bardo asking, is there any dancers you would like to work with or know if any that you would like to work with?
Any dancers, choreographers, dancers, Sierra, Tiana Taylor, Gordy from here, Detroit, Nikita Williams from here, Detroit, Lyric London that lives in Atlanta. Yeah, I would love to work with them people.
All right, and now I have to ask you. So you're currently we've mentioned Sierra twice during this conversation, I believe, if I'm keeping track. And I know there's a lot of dancers or people that are in the dancing community have been nominated or have been selected. So can you tell us a little bit about this experience? And we're going to manifest once selected, what you would like to take from the experience, and tell our audience a little bit about that experience that is currently going on.
Okay, so basically, Sierra's coming out with a new music video. I was nominated recently. Basically, the winner, she'll pick 8 people to fly to Arizona to meet her and her choreographer, and she'll pick one person out of the 8, and that person will win a chance to be in the music video and $20K. So yeah, and I'm just so excited about that. Definitely to even be recognized, nominated so early, coming back into stepping into dance, that was huge for me. Like, I'm just blessed to even have the opportunity to be nominated, to be recognized for what I put out into this world. So
Absolutely, and you already have a huge following. Just a little bit that's in the chat right now, but of course, everybody's that's going to watch the interview and conversation online later. Carmelo is saying speak, and then also asking, what do you want your audience to feel from your work?
I want them to feel like they can do it. I want them to feel inspired. I want them to see another person like me, LGBT, black, gay, queer. I can do it too. That's really what I want my audience, the other people, to be inspired. Like, yeah.
Absolutely. Everybody is continuing to chime in and show you love. Great explanation. Thank you for asking my question. Thank you, Jae'Shaun, for answering them. We're looking at the winner, and we're going to run the numbers up for you. I am trillionaire for life. So continuing to show the love and the support is always in the chat. Jae'Shaun, my next question for you is, what does success look to you? I'm talking about beyond just the numbers, beyond the views, beyond, the social media hype. What does success look like to you?
It looks like to me just recognition, love, light, love. Of course, when you're moving in light and you're being authentically you, yes, that's the financial freedom and things that's gonna come, but my goal is for the financial freedom. I know that's gonna come. I just want to inspire people and just do my thing while I'm doing and be authentically me.
Absolutely. And if you could give one piece of advice to artists struggling to find their voice, or just creatives out there that may be watching that may be feeling down or may not sure how to overcome any type of obstacle in their journey, in their path, what advice would you give to those that are watching today?
Be authentically you. Be brave. Take risks. Bet on yourself. If ain't nobody gonna do it, you gotta do it first. You gotta believe yourself first before you make anybody else to believe it. Like, and don't aim for the instant gratification. I know we see on social media people going viral, things of that nature. If you want an instant gratification, just don't even start. Just start. If you really want to do something, you don't matter how long it's gonna take, how long, or what you gotta go through, the lessons you gotta learn. Just stick to a plan, and if that plan don't work, go back to the drawing board, come with another plan. But stick to what you love to do, and you're gonna go through things, but don't give up.
Absolutely, absolutely. And also, real quick, I have to mention shout outs to my mom in the chat watching and supporting as always. So I had to shout her out. She said, "Good job, Tyler." She's always sharing my stuff on social media. I think it's just so important to, that's what I really love about our platform. We get to not only me as a host be able to sit down and share people's journeys and their creatives and their talents with other people in our audience, but also like allowing the audience to do their thing and interact with us. I think like that two-way type of communication is always the best. So aside from manifesting the Sierra contest and experience, what's next for you as we continue into 2025? I feel like the year is hopefully going by really fast. So
it's going by it's going by pretty fast. I got a lot of projects and things that I'm working on. As you know, the Sierra, the polls open tomorrow for voting, so make sure you guys vote for me. I got more dance content coming out. I got some custom merch coming out. Shooting dance showcases this month. I got TRILL visuals. I'm doing Valentine's Day photo shoots this month as well. So yeah, that's what I'm doing this month. Busy, busy, busy.
Absolutely. And like I said, we'll be sure to share your social media on the screen one more time. Before we get out of here and on to our next guest. So in the past, we've been doing like a quick rapid fire game with our guests. So if you're down to play, basically it's just fun, random questions that we do not send to our guests ahead of time. So first question for you, if you could have any superpower for a day, what would it be?
Mind reading.
Same. That's one. I feel like I would want to, but then again, like on the other side, I may not want to. So I'm like, my answer would probably be like just being able to fly, even though I don't like planes. So I don't know if it's gonna work out for me. But top 3 songs or artists that you can't stop listening to lately.
Woo! By Big Boogie and Glorilla. What's another song? Tyler, Push to Start Up. Well, is it Push? I believe that's what it's called. And my all-time favorites is '08, Freaking Me by Jamie Foxx. That's still my jam.
Okay. Next question, also music related. If your life had a soundtrack, what top 3 artists would be featured?
Oh, Tiana Taylor, Tank, and Kiki Wyatt.
Okay. If you could shoot a music video anywhere in the world, where would it be?
Europe.
And then lastly, what is your go-to snack and beverage when you're in the middle of a creative session?
Snack, I like plain Lays. And maybe my water with some ashwagandha or something, something simple like that.
Okay. All right. And Jae'Shaun, real quick, go ahead and let everybody know one more time where to follow you and any last words or messages of inspiration you want to leave us with.
Okay, so you can follow my personal pages. That's Trill Avenue, Trill Ave, TRIL.AVE, TikTok, Instagram, Threads, Twitter, you name it. You can follow my business page, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, all social media platforms. I'm on YouTube as well. Make sure you guys subscribe, Trill Visuals, and my website is there as well.
Absolutely. Well, I just want to say thank you so much for giving us a little bit of your time this evening and to share just a part of your journey and talents with our audience. Like I said, already manifesting the Sierra competition win. So good luck to you on that. And hopefully we'll have an update and be able to share everybody that you were selected by Sierra.
right now. Sounds good. I appreciate it. Thank you so much for giving me this opportunity. I appreciate it.
Absolutely. Jae'Shaun Kwamé, also known as TRILL. Be sure to follow him and hit him up on social media. This is Ty's Take Today Live. I just want to say thank you all for joining us. This next interview, I'm talking to all of you that are feeling overwhelmed, feeling stressed out, not sure where to even begin when it comes to filing your taxes since it is officially tax season. We're going to talk about his journey and overall share his story with you all, as well as talk finances and building general wealth and financial literacy. Without further ado, I'm going to add our next guest to the conversation, Coach Dibs.
What's going on, man? I was just getting a little work done in the background.
Absolutely. I feel you. Like I said earlier, the grind never stops. So I just want to say, first off, thank you so much for joining us this evening. And then I really just want to, like we did with our first guest, I want to talk a little bit about yourself, introduce you to our audience, and really what inspired you to pursue a career in real estate, mortgage services, and financial literacy. I can't even talk today. It's so much.
It's a lot. It's a lot. But my main thing was a lot of people's things when they're looking for a job. I wanted to make a lot of money. I didn't finish college, and I had a 6-month-old daughter when I got fired from my janitorial job, where right out of high school I was making $30,000 or $40,000 a year, without a real financial plan on what to do with all of that money. In 2008, 2009, that was a lot of money for a 19-year-old to be making. So once I lost that opportunity, that job, I started, doing things that I thought would make me more money. So, a basic Google search, what jobs can I get without a college degree that make a lot of money? And that took me to a video on World Star Hip Hop. Mark Whitten flips houses like his hair is on fire, which took me to a investors meeting in Oakland, which introduced me to an investor by the name of Wendy Patton, who encouraged me to get my real estate license. And from there, I've just been stacking certifications and educating myself in the finance world since that moment.
Absolutely. And I know, for many of us, or many people overall, struggle with financial literacy, basically due to a lack of exposure early on in life. So how in your own financial mindset develop? And, what were some of your earliest memories or recollections about lessons when it comes to like money and finances?
Well, I mean, you live most of those lessons and you don't really learn their lessons until you know better, right? When I was getting checks from McDonald's and blowing the whole thing and then not paying my rent until that last check of the month, that's, I learned when 1 week that check didn't come that, okay, maybe I should start saving a little bit from my checks and not try and spend it all at once. So experience is the best teacher in those situations, man. As far as like I said, I'm learning every day. I'm still learning financial lessons, but the lessons that I've learned, I'm trying to pass those on to people that are coming up behind me who might be where I was at that time.
Absolutely. And as someone, who educates others on wealth building, for you, what do you think one financial mistake is that, typically people make when it comes to like finances just overall? And, how do you work with people to like kind of shape and change or alter that mindset?
Yeah, so I think the biggest mistake that I made personally was thinking that I had to do everything myself. I get my check, I get it, or I would get it direct deposited into my account, or at that time I was cashing my check at the liquor store. But thinking that I had to manage my money and there's nobody else that should even know what I'm earning. I didn't know that there was an entire industry of people, of tax preparers, real estate agents, mortgage pros, financial advisors, insurance agents. There's an entire industry of people dedicated to research this stuff and tell you exactly what you should be doing. And these people are they're a resource to you. You don't have to go at it alone.
And you did mention resources, so I want to talk a little bit about, do you currently seek clients, or, what are some services or assistance that you help others when it comes to just finances overall?
Yeah, so by trade, like I said, I got into this as a real estate professional. My main job was to help people negotiate contracts to buy and sell homes. In the flow of that, I discovered that not everybody's qualified to buy a house when you first meet them. So, you always hear somebody say, "Oh yeah, go get pre-approved." And I was even telling people that without even understanding what it meant, right? And to get pre-approved, you have to go see a mortgage professional. They, you tell them how much money you earn, you give them some qualifying documents, and they come back at you with a number that you can afford in housing per month, right? And that doesn't even dictate how much house you can buy. It just dictates how much mortgage you can afford. That's your number that you got to stick below. So as a real estate agent, I started learning about what the qualifications were to buy a home, right? And from there, my journey and my mission really became to get as many people qualified as I can, because I see real estate as the biggest wealth builder in any community in this country.
Absolutely. And what are some key habits that you see in people who successfully can build and maintain that, especially like you mentioned, when it comes to real estate? Any pointers or any tips that you can share? I know you offer full services, so we don't want to give away all the secrets, but any advice to people out there that may be looking to begin that journey or venture in their life?
Well, the number one thing is consistency. The people that I see have the most success have a financial plan, and they stick to it, right? They have a goal that they set out to accomplish, and the goal is beyond Friday. It's beyond that next check. They're talking, thinking 5 to 10 years in the future. How am I going to accomplish this goal? And then they work backwards from there. Whereas even my approach, 15 years ago was, I'm getting this check. I got these bills coming out. This is what I got left to spend. You need to reverse engineer that, set some goals for yourself, and start paying yourself first, and really control where that money is going, so that you can, acquire some assets.
Absolutely. And I think, it starts, we talked about like those first encounters or those first experiences. I think ultimately it comes down to, being able to teach, at least some type of basic principles or understanding to our children at a young age. Right. Because, we're not always fortunate enough to be able to go to schools where, we're taught these things and we're taught these principles. How do you hope that your work impacts and inspires underserved communities, who maybe who may be lacking those tools or those resources out there?
Well, like I said, by making myself available to pass on this education, I can't take this knowledge with me. So the things that I learned, I definitely instill that in my children. I talk about legacy a lot in wealth building, because even with your own parents, transparency is the key from taking that knowledge from one generation to the next. Especially if you're not leaving millions of dollars behind, you can at least make sure that your kids don't have to start over with the knowledge that you know. Pass down what you have.
Absolutely, dropping gems. And then I know I went into this long spiel at the beginning of the show opener because it's officially tax season. I am sitting here stressing and overwhelmed. So I know a lot of our audience out there has to be feeling the same way. So I want to talk a little bit in depth and laser focus in on some tax questions. So I know, like I said, extremely stressful. People overwhelm themselves. What is lost my train of thought. What are some common tax deductions or credits that the average person tends to overlook?
Tends to overlook. I mean, they overlook them all. See, where people leave money on the table is not understanding what their tax strategy actually is. you should be thinking about taxes year round. It's not just when that W-2 comes in the mail. At the beginning of the year, you and your preparer, or you and your tax strategist, your CPA, should be coming up with a plan for what you guys are going to do in December. And this is for all tax brackets. You guys should know how much is expected of you, what your tax responsibility is in the beginning of the year. And it works the same way in real estate. You make your money on the buy. So when you get ready to file your taxes, make sure you're asking your preparers what tax strategies they implementing for you this year. You know, what deductions do you qualify for besides the obvious stuff like having children and providing for them. The tax code is actually designed to help you keep more of that money in your pocket. And it's really two scales here. So on one side, you have employees, right? Employees are going to work and those taxes are taken right out of their check before they get it. So you start with all your money, and before you get it, state tax, federal tax, Medicaid, and there's one more, but that FICA box leaves you with this, right? Your taxes are taken care of. They go over into those boxes at the end of the year. You claim, you file on your return to get a refund of all of this money. All right. But as a business owner, let's say you start a business, you get to keep all this money, pay your bills, pay your car, pay your expenses, pay your employees, pay your salaries, pay all this money before Uncle Sam even get to touch any of this. All right. So you're keeping more money in your pocket, and you're also claiming those credits at the end of the year. If you do have kids, those are going to be like additional credits added to your tax return. But knowing that up front and planning up front is the strategy that I preach to my clients. They know exactly how I'm filing their returns every year.
Absolutely. And then of course, like I know for like it varies based off of like where you reside, correct? So I know
Yes.
like if you work in certain cities or certain states or demographics, it can vary slightly. So what is your advice, being someone who is a tax preparer, when it comes to like, because you have your handful of people that are like, I'm gonna go the TurboTax route, filing online, or is there any advice, or in particular, are there any types of things that people might want to be on the lookout, or that they should rather go see a tax preparer or specialist as opposed to trying to file it themselves?
Yeah. So if you don't know what you're doing, you should absolutely talk to a tax preparer. TurboTax is great for a simple return. If you just have a W-2 return, you paid your taxes out of your check every year. I'm not even gonna say go to TurboTax. I'll say go to irs.gov and file your return for free. If you just got a straight return, that doesn't cost you a dime. But if you are someone who is a high earner, someone that doesn't have a tax strategy, someone that thinks you may owe money to the government that you don't know what you might claim, or even a business owner, I would encourage you to talk to a tax preparer, a professional, before you turn that return in. But you can go to irs.gov too and try your luck.
Absolutely. And then I do also want to share, I know you have some resources on your website as well. So I kind of want to just go ahead and share that screen with our audience and
nice.
Talk to them a little bit about so this is your link tree that everybody is currently looking at, but you have file your taxes, DM for next steps. There's a financial success quiz. Can you talk a little bit about just overall the resources that are listed here, and what resources you have available for
so like I said, I've been doing this for a long time as a financial entrepreneur, but my main thing is real estate. If you click those free resources at the top, the financial success quiz or to file your taxes, these are seasonal things, but the financial success quiz really tells me where you are as far as budgeting. And if you want one-on-one financial coaching, I actually walk people through from A to Z on budgeting their money, learning to invest, and then growing their assets from there. But I'm able to walk you through A to Z is because I offer every service from filing your taxes to budgeting your finances to creating a financial plan for you to helping you buy your first house and even writing the loan for that house.
Absolutely. So all the resources, and like you said, it just takes a little bit of time to fill out that survey. So you mentioned a little bit about your goal is to create new millionaires. What is that? What does that vision look like for you, and how do you continue, or how do you plan on continuing to expand your brand and that initiative within the 2025 year?
So in 2025, like I'm doing expanding my brand like this by creating more products, asking my clients for feedback on what it is that they need. Because I learned that not everybody needs a budget. I started giving my budget plan away for free, simply because that wasn't where my audience was. They were a little more sophisticated than that. They like, Dibs, I get money. I got a bunch of money. Tell me how to grow it. So I started shifting my focus into creating plans for people to buy assets with the money that they're making. Another thing that we're doing in expanding is in mentorship. I started recently coaching a youth football team so I can help develop the young men of our next generation, teaching them those same disciplines that I've learned in finance and applying them to the football field.
Absolutely. And you had mentioned, I know, teamwork, growth, perseverance, just kind of bridging that gap and being very hands-on and involved within the community. So we are going to play, if you're down, a quick game of rapid fire, which we did with our previous guests. We've been doing it on this season with all of our guests. But I want to know what's aside from what you mentioned previously, is there any projects or what's next? And again, go ahead and let everybody know where they can follow you, and we'll show that on the screen again as well.
Oh, okay, perfect. Hey, I'm sorry, what was the question?
Just any, honestly, overall, just any advice or pointers as we begin this tax season, or even any advice to people out there that may be struggling with finances or that realm of that area, rather.
I got you. So basically, my message, if you don't take anything else away from this, it would be the faster you start using money as a tool instead of a toy, the faster you'll get to financial freedom.
Absolutely. And then now for our quick rapid fire questions. First question: if you could have any superpower for a day, what would it be?
I thought about this while you was talking to your last guest, and I think it's going to be invisibility. I want to get in and out, unseen, unnoticed.
Absolutely. That is a good one. I've never thought about that one. I'm always like, I try to pick my answers to these rapid fire questions, and give me just a moment because I actually lost my original question. So if you don't mind, I'm going to just pull up these rapid fire questions. I'm over here looking and I'm like, I don't have them. But let's see. If you could sit down with any celebrity or financial coach or financial expert, dead or alive, past or present, for a conversation, is there anyone in particular that you would pick?
Right now, I want to pick Dave Ramsey's brain. He's got a stronghold on cash flowing everything, and I'm curious in this market, because this is way different from when he was investing in the 80s. In this market, if he is changing anything. Like, you have to have new ideas evolving as market conditions change. The strategy doesn't necessarily need to be the same long term, but in the macro, like when you condensing and looking at everything that's happening around him, can you really say, hey, $1,000 is enough for your emergency fund? can you actually say that it's smart to, when wages haven't increased over the past 20 years, can you really say it's smart to tell people to invest 15% of their paycheck into their employer sponsored 401k plans? So, you know, that's a nerd debate that I want to have with him.
Absolutely. And what is the biggest myth about finances overall or tax season that you've heard that you think needs to be debunked?
Oh, that everybody gets a refund. If you do not pay taxes, if your federal income tax box is blank, what are you expecting to be refunded? There's no money there.
Interesting. I never thought of that before.
That's why I wanted to point it out.
I just learned something new. And then lastly, what is one unique thing about you that many don't know?
I'm an open book, man. I mean, I don't know what people wouldn't know that's unique about me. That's a tough one. That's tough. I don't know. I can do this.
Putting you on the spot. Hey, that's
Right.
that's the rapid fire. Coach Dibbs, I just want to say thank you so much for joining us this evening and allowing us to share just a part of your story and the services that you offer. Closing us out, any last minute words of wisdom to the audience?
Yeah. If you are getting serious about ownership, that is our only path forward to closing this wealth gap. A lot of the complaints that I see online and from my clients is because they don't have a stake in the game. There's no ownership being passed from generation to generation. So we got to start playing the game too. Own things.
Absolutely. Coach Dibbs, again, thank you so much for joining us this evening. We'll be sure to include your social media links and where people can find you and connect with you for further service. I appreciate you for joining us this evening.
Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. And you guys are watching Inside State Today Live. We do this each and every Thursday and Sunday, 6 p.m. Eastern, live streaming on Facebook, YouTube, Twitch. We'll be right back on Thursday with more. So be sure to check us out, SideStateToday.com, YouTube /@It'sSideStateToday. Be sure to tap that subscribe button so you guys don't miss out on any of our conversations or future live episodes. And then, of course, follow us on Instagram @It'sSideStateToday. We keep it simple for you. Facebook as well @It'sSideStateToday. I just want to say shout outs to everybody in the chat. Shout outs to my guests, Jae'Shaun Kwamé, TRILL, for joining us and his fan base and audience, as well as Coach Dibbs. For more information on today's guests, be sure to find their socials and contacts within the description of our videos. That's going to do it for tonight's episode. I hope you guys all have a great evening, and we'll see you right back here Thursday, 6 p.m. Eastern.